What's up YouTube, NCG here, bringing you a very exciting deck profile, and that is Elementsabers. Now, Elementsabers are more of a gimmicky deck right now. They're very, very cheap, so pick up all the little pieces that you need right now. Because if they ever do go off, they will start to crawl up in the price brackets. But as of right now, they're a very, very fun deck to play, and I will actually show you at the end of this a hand loop combo that leaves your opponent with 0 in hand, and there's even also a way of doing it without having to worry about a hand trap. So without further ado, I'm going to take you through this profile and show you what we've got. So you start off with triple Elementsaber Lapolia. This is your spell and trap negator during your opponent's turn. Now, all Elementsaber monsters have the same effect, that you discard an Elementsaber monster and then they use an effect. Now, you can also use the field spell. The field spell lets you send from deck to grave instead. We've got triple Makani. This is your searcher of the deck. You've got triple Enia. This is your monster reborn of the deck. And then you've got triple Lapolia Mana. This is your boss monster protector. So this one gets to send 2 from either your hand or with the field spell to the, your deck to the grave. And then you get to use the effects depending on what attributes you've sent. So if you send an earth and a wind, it cannot be destroyed by battle. Water and fire cannot be destroyed by card effects. Light or dark, your opponent cannot target cards with effects. And that provides that effect or that protection to all Elementsaber monsters you control. Then we've got 2 Malehu. You don't need 3 of this, and I'll explain why when we get into the combo. The 1 Nolu and the 1 Malul. We've then got 2 of the Elemental Lords, and that's Mooning Glacier for the hand loop, and then we've got the Grand Soil for the Monster Reborn ability under its new errata. You can play the new Thunder one as a Regeki if you need to, but as of right now, in this build, you don't need to worry about that. We either want to be hand looping our opponent, or we want to be going through our opponent with our stronger beat monsters. Outside of the main, we've got triple Neospatian Aquadolphin. This helps contribute towards the hand loop because it protects you from a hand trap. Only 1, unfortunately, but it will protect you from a hand trap. It's water, so it helps with the Mooning Glacier play. And then the burn damage can also win you games as well in this time. We've got 2 Photon Thrashers, and the reason we've got 2 Photon Thrashers is because we play 2 instant fusions. You do need a level 4 extender in this deck to help you get into the hand loop combo, which is why we have Carbonala, I've completely butchered that anyway, warrior in our extra deck, because that is a level 4 warrior target for instant fusion. We've then got the 1 Blackwing Zephyros, the elite, that helps towards the hand loop combo, along with your Fairy Tale Snow and your Nightmare Corrupt Ibli. On top of that, as boss monsters, should the hand loop fail, you've got Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning and a Dark Armored Dragon. This can be a second BLS if you want it to be, but I like the effect of banishing 1 dark because you can turn any monster in your graveyard into dark, or any of your Elementsabers into dark, and then banish it and control the board quite nicely, and the same with BLS. For our spells, of course, you play triple Palace of the Elemental Lords. Now, the biggest thing about this is all monsters you control gain attack and defense equal to the number of different attributes in your graveyard times 200. Once per turn, you can add 1 Elementsaber monster from your deck to your hand, but you skip the battle phase of your next turn. That's the biggest down point. Alternatively, that's even if this card leaves the field, by the way. Once per turn, if an Elementsaber monster in your hand or field would send a card or cards from the hand to the graveyard to activate their effect, you send that many from your deck instead. Neither of these effects are hard once per turn, so you can loop these around, search as many as you want. Ideally, during your first turn, you want to go through all 3 of these, because then you don't have to worry about missing your battle phase in the future. In the hand loop, you do go through this, you bounce it back and go through it again. And like I said, at the end of this video, I'll show you that exact combo. Triple Terraforming. You do need the field spell in hand. You can bump this up to, like, you don't really want metaverses per se. If anything, you'd want a set rotation, but then the set rotation, then obviously it's set rotation himself, and then of course another card on top of that. So it really depends on the ratio in your deck. Double Instant Fusion, like I said, these are to get into your extenders. You do want to see either this or your Photon Thrasher in your opening hand. The reason I've gone with 2 and 2 is I think Instant Fusion is more consistent later game, should you need it, not that you obviously will, than the Photon Thrasher, because the Photon Thrasher needs you to control no monsters. We've then got 2 equipped spells with different names. Phoenix Blade, which is the most important one, and then I've got Living Fossil, as it is a different, kind of like Monster Reborn. So you activate this card by targeting level 4 or lower monster in your graveyard, special summon it, equip it with this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. When this card leaves the field, banish the equipped monster. The equipped monster loses 1,000 attack and defense. Also, its effects are negated. Doesn't really matter about that. This is if you hard draw it, and if you hard draw it, it gives you a monster reborn to go into your link plays or extend your plays further forward. Ideally, these are going to be in graveyard off of your Isolde play anyway. Got 1 Reinforcement of the Army and the 1 Monster Reborn anyway. Monster Reborn also counts as another extender in this deck to help towards the hand loop should you need it. But it can also be very, very helpful later game, finishing off your opponent. Now onto the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we've got 2 Carbodar Warriors, butchered that name. These are just your 2 level 4 Warrior instant fusion targets. Your rank 4 plays, you've got your Tornado Dragon, you've got your number 41 Baguthka, and then going towards the hand loop is your Raid Raptor 4 Strix, and you'll see why this is so important when we do the combo. For your links, you've got the 1 Underclock Taker, you've got the 1 Nightmare Phoenix to deal with any dirty back row, the 1 Nightmare, part of the hand loop, Ib, again, hand loop, Isolde, hand loop, Nightmare Goblin, hand loop, Curious the Lightsworn, hand loop, Gumbler Dragon, definitely part of the hand loop, Firewall hand loop, and then just Borrow Dragon because it is an amazingly powerful boss monster. This can be any link 3 or 4 boss monster that you would like. Now, even though these all contribute towards the hand loop, it does not make them any less useful in your deck, so bear that in mind. Now, without further ado, I'm going to take you through this hand loop combo. So, let me just quickly grab a dice so you can kind of see how many cards our opponent has in hand, and we can keep track of that. So, we're going to start off our opponent with, of course, the 5 cards in hand. So, we're going to put that up there. Your opening hand, this has to be very, very specific, which is why you need so many different extenders. So, you must have either a Terraforming or a Field Spell. You must have an extender, whether it be Monster Reborn, Instant Fusion, or Photon Thrasher. Neon Spatial, I'm going to put this in here because this is our safety play. And then we'll explain a little bit further as we go. And then you need any other Elementsaber monster. And then any other monster. Ideally, we're going to put the Lapulian Mana because you would search this out with the Field Spell if you didn't have it. So you just need 4 monsters, one of them at least being an extender. Okay, so what we do here, this is to play it safely, is you special summon your Photon Thrasher. If you haven't got your Neospatian, do not worry. This just means that you can't guarantee what your opponent has in hand. So you'd normal summon your Neospatian, you'd use its effect, don't discard the mana. If you want to discard the mana, you have to search it off of the Saber, but get rid of the other monster. You can hit any card in your opponent's hand up to 2100 attack. So if they do have a hand trap like Ash or Ogre, you take that down to 4. Of course, if they have more hand traps, then this combo becomes a little bit more difficult to pull off because you need your Field Spell to resolve. Well, we're going to go that they've only had 1 in hand. You're then going to activate your Field Spell. Your Field Spell's effect is then going to allow you to search, and you're going to search your Anya. Wherever she is. There we go. We're going to search our Anya. You're then going to special summon your Lapulian Mana by sending 2 from your deck to the grave. Now, obviously, because we've discarded a level 4, alternatively, if you haven't discarded a level 4, you must make sure that a level 4 is sent from your deck to the graveyard. So, just to be sure on it, we're going to send a Lapulia and we're going to send a Makani because we've got 3 of those left in deck. You're then going to link your Aquadolphin and your Lapulian Mana together and go, of course, into your Isolde. Your Isolde is then going to use her effect to search out a card. Now, this is where you want to search out one of the dead Elementsabers. So, either your Mallow or, of course, your Nulu. So, we're going to search out our Mallow. We're then going to use Isolde's second ability to send 2 equips from deck. Now, obviously, this is all under Neospatian Grand, so we Dolphin, we've hopefully taken out any kind of disruption they have. You're going to send your 2 equips to the graveyard, and you're going to special summon out your Anya from your deck. You're then going to use Anya's effect to discard the dead card to revive one of the level 4s that you've sent, so whether it be the Malu or the Lapulia, it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to spread the board out a little bit more. So, Anya is not in the link zone, just so we're clear on that one. You're then going to overlay your Thrasher and your Lapulia and go into your Raid Raptor 4 Strix. It doesn't actually matter where Anya is right now. You're going to detach from 4 Strix. You're going to search out your Blackwing Zephyros the Elite. You're then going to link your 4 Strix and your Anya and go into your Nightmare Goblin. On summon, you're going to use the effect of Nightmare Goblin, discarding your Zephyros the Elite. That gives you an additional normal summon. At this point, what you want to be doing is you use Zephyros the Elite's effect to bring it to the board, bouncing back your Field Spell. You're going to take 400 damage, but do not worry, you've already burnt your opponent for 500 off of Aquadolphin. You're then going to activate your Palace, and now this is the point where you specifically have to search out this card. You have to search out your Makani. So with this, you're going to normal summon your Makani, use Makani's ability, and to do so, you're going to discard from the field spell, sending from deck to the grave. So we are going to send. Let's send a second Lapulia to the graveyard. That is then going to allow you to search out your Moon in Glacier. You're then going to be able to special summon your Moon in Glacier because we do have 5 waters. You've got 1 there. Then we can change the attribute of this Makani, this Malu, Lapulia and Ania to water. So you've got 5 waters in the graveyard right there. That allows you to special summon your Moon in Glacier. Moon in Glacier's effect is going to go off, reducing our opponent's hand side down to 2. From this point on, we're then going to link our Zephyros the Elite, our Makani and our Isolde into the most busted card of the format right now, and that is Firewall Dragon. Now, it is at this point that you want to banish 2 warrior monsters. I advise banishing the Neospatian and the Isolde to add back your Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. We're then going to turn Nightmare Goblin into our Nightmare Ibli. Sorry, not our Nightmare Ibli, our Nightmare Mermaid. You're then going to choose the chain links. So go chain link 1, chain link 2, or however way you would like to do it. The chain link 2, obviously Firewall goes off to special summon the Ania. You would discard as cost off of the Mermaid as well for the Phoenix Blade. Resolving backwards, we would then special summon the Ibli from our deck, and then you would draw 1 card. Now this card can be anything, it really doesn't matter what it is. You then link both of these guys together and go into Ib. I know we haven't seen Ib for a while, but Ib actually plays a very important role because we've got Ib here. I'm going to put this face down so that is any card. You're then going to use Firewall's bounce effect to bounce back 2. Now you must bounce back a Lapulia, and then you can bounce back any other Elementsaber monster you want. As long as it can be summoned off a Firewall, that's all that matters. You're then going to take the Moon in Glacier, your Ib, and your Mermaid. They're all waters, but there's a Spellcaster, Sea Serpent, and Fiend, and you're going to turn that into a Curious, the Lightsworn Dominion, and then you're going to use Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, or however way you'd like to do it. Your Firewall is going to special summon one that isn't Lapulia mana. Do not special summon your Lapulia mana right now. And your Curious is going to send Snow to the graveyard. You're then going to link your Makani, or whatever monster you've brought down, and your Curious, and go into your topological Gumbler Dragon. Firewall will then trigger special summoning the Lapulia. I think I've played that wrong. What you need to do before you do those 2 is you need to add the sword back. So banish 2 warriors. There we go. And we'll add the sword back there. There we go. That's more sense. So then you would summon off a Firewall your Lapulia. Your effect of Gumbler Dragon goes off. You would discard the 2 cards in your hand. So that would be the sword and the Lapulia. And you'd rip the final 2 cards from your opponent's hand. They now no longer have any cards in hand. You then have to revive the sword again. So banish 2 more, add the sword back to hand. Past your opponent's turn. Now they draw 1 card for their draw phase. During their standby phase, you will activate Fairy Tale Snow's effect, banishing everything that isn't a warrior. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You could give them Ibli if you want, entirely up to you, but I wouldn't worry about it. 5, 6, 7. So you banish all 7 of these. You special summon Snow here. You then use the effect of Gumbler Dragon to discard your Phoenix Blade and take the final card from your opponent's hand. Now I believe at this point, Gumbler would also burn your opponent for 3k. If they have a quick play spell or trap that they want to try and play, like an Impermanence, you do have Lapulia that can use its effect by sending from deck to graveyard to negate that. So you've done all of this. We're going to draw for turn. Now again, this card can be anything. If it's a monster, do not worry. You can normal summon it if you wish. We are locked out of our battle phase, so we're going to normal summon this. Then what you want to do is you want to get Snow back into the graveyard. So you either link up all 3 of these. If it's a monster, it's a little bit additional because you've got Lapulia to protect it. You want to get Snow into grave, so you can link it, XYZ it, however you want to do it. You need to get it to graveyard. We're going to link it to be safe, and we'll go into Underclock Taker. Doesn't really matter as long as it's linked to and it's acceptable. Your Firewall will go off, but you've got nothing to discard, so you can't do anything there. You're locked out of your battle phase, like I said. And what you're going to do is you're then going to banish 2 more warriors, and we're going to add the blade back to hand. No, you do need to clear this off because you need a... So we'll get rid of the Lapulia and we'll put the Makani there because you need a space spare to activate your Gumbler Dragon. So you'd pass your opponent during their standby phase, they would draw 1 card again. The draw phase, draw 1 card. During their standby, you would go effect of Snow, you'd banish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, bring Snow back. Affected Gumbler Dragon goes off, you would discard the Phoenix Blade and rip the final card from your opponent's hand. If they've got a quick play spell or trap, then of course you'll negate it, but they still use up their last card in hand. It then comes back to you, you draw whatever you want. Well, not whatever you want, but whatever you draw, it doesn't really matter. You then get to swing into attack. Now, if Gumbler's already burnt for 3k, that's it. Regardless, you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 150, a little bit more than that, about just over 9k. If you're not 100% sure, of course, you could link these two together, go into your Nightmare Phoenix, attack with all of this, and if you still haven't killed your opponent off, I believe there's 7 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 7 there. Bring your Snow out, and you have attacked and killed your opponent off. So that just shows you a little bit further extension of how you can actually deal with it, because some people might be a bit deterred, like, oh, but I haven't got a battle phase, my opponent can still make a comeback. They really can't. The only way that they survive the hand loop, if you have the hand loop in play, is if you don't have a Neospatian Dolphin in hand to stop one of their hand traps, or if they have multiple hand traps and you have the Neospatian. It's the only way they can do it. So, for now, that is it. I hope the combos helped you, giving you an idea of how the deck kind of operates and plays. If you do have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you guys, and kind of go from there. But like I said, it is a very, very fun deck to play. I thoroughly enjoy playing Elementsabers. It definitely keeps me on my toes. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. And until next time, guys, as always, see ya.